Back now to one of our top stories, that Delta jet that flipped upside down on a runway in Toronto. You're looking at new video from inside the plane now as passengers were climbing through those emergency exits. We are still waiting to hear about the conditions of several passengers taken to the hospital after that plane crashed when it had a failed landing. 76 passengers, 4 crew members all survived. It's thought that the wind may have had something to do with this crash, but clearly very much in preliminary stages of the investigation as it's just beginning. Joining us live tonight is aviation analyst Scott Hamilton of Liam News and Analysis. Scott, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Of course.
First of all, how does something like this happen?
Well, as you said, wind is going to be one of the areas of investigation. There was high wind at the airport today. There were gusts of around 40 miles an hour coming at the airplane from a 40-degree angle as it landed. There was a report that there might have been an unusually high descent rate, which might indicate the presence of a wind shear. So all the weather conditions are going to be part of this investigation.
I believe this was a Canadian-made aircraft. Is that correct? I'm wondering who's going to investigate this crash and what that's going to look like. What will they be looking for?
Well, it was a Canadian-made aircraft from Bombardier. The program was since bought by Mitsubishi, but the accident happened in Canada, so the Canadian investigating authorities will be the lead agency. The National Transportation Board of the U.S. will support them, as will Delta pilots and anybody else that's necessary.
It's just shocking when we look at the visuals of that huge jet upside down and them putting all of the foam on it. We know that there was at least one fire on board. Are you surprised that the outcome wasn't worse?
Yeah, when the wing sheared off, normally that is the event with spilled fuel that starts a conflagration, a fire and an explosion. The fact that that did not happen here, quite frankly, might fall into the category of a miracle.
Isn't the fuel in the wings of that aircraft?
It is, and based on the videos that we could see, it looked like the wing sheared off some number of feet from the fuselage. So that fuel should have been ruptured and spilled onto the runway and the airplane.
It's extraordinary, really, as every time I see those pictures with the jet mostly intact. It's extraordinary to me. As you know, there have been several incidents in the U.S. over just the past month. We had the jet and helicopter collide over the Potomac. We had that medical helicopter that crashed in Philadelphia. Another plane went down in the Alaska Sea. A lot of people are probably wondering, is it safe to fly? How concerned should we be about safety?
It is absolutely safe to fly. There is nothing at all that is a common thread between these accidents. I would bet you that the root cause of the Toronto accident is going to be the weather. There will be contributing factors, of course. The collision by Washington National Airport, no connection to this one. The Learjet that crashed in Philadelphia, we don't know what's happened there. And as yet, we don't know what happened in Alaska.
As you know, the Trump administration is trying to eliminate many FAA jobs. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I know that some have already tried to make a nexus between these layoffs and these accidents. There is no nexus. The people in the Federal Aviation Administration who have been laid off are technicians. They're not air traffic controllers. And of course, the layoff only was effective yesterday or the day before, so that's just completely irrelevant. And I say that as a never-Trumper. You can't blame him for this one.
Looking forward, I'm curious, just your concerns in general, if we're looking at layoffs across many federal agencies, but in your line of work, particularly the FAA. Do you have any concerns at all?
Well, the FAA, just in the broader context and not related to this accident, has always been understaffed with air traffic controllers, with technicians. It's been understaffed with inspectors, as we all know with respect to Boeing there. They just don't have enough inspectors for Boeing. And quite frankly, the root cause of that goes back to Congress, because Congress is the one that has the purse string. So if we're going to blame anybody, we need to blame Congress.
Thank you so much, aviation analyst Scott Hamilton, for your perspective. We really appreciate your time tonight.
You're welcome.